right. Good morning, everybody. I think we have a number of staff people here. We have some merchants here, I hope, besides Bill Kelbeck. Who do we got for merchants here? All right. Thank you. This wind is going to be a problem, I think. Anyway, thanks for coming out. It's I would think it's a little bit of an historic occasion here today. A little background on why we're here. So, upon taking office, January of 2016, I met with a couple different mayors that preceded me, and I asked them, what are the favorite parts of the job? What are the least favorite parts of the job? And what are some of the things that you wish you had worked on? And I remember Dave Madden saying to me, my biggest regret was not following through with a traffic solution for Columbian Square. Later, I talked to staff, and we looked at some of the studies that had been done in the past. And working with the planning department, we took a look at one of the more recent studies. We decided maybe it's worth taking another look at things here. We ended up contracting with Green International, and Bill Scully was heading up that at the time. And we sort of updated one of the previous studies. And I told Bob Luongo, I said, I don't think this is something we're going to ever get consensus on. And as the process started and the community meeting started, it sort of reinforced my belief that we would never reach a consensus on what to do down here. But eventually, it was almost like bringing peace to the Middle East. There seemed to be a consensus that evolved in those meetings. We came up with 3 preferred solutions. The citizens working with elected officials from the district here, the district councilors, and our planning department actually came up with a 4th preferred alternative for the square, and that's what we have here today. So what you're going to see take hold here was the result of some really great collaboration between all of the stakeholders, as we like to call them, here in Columbian Square. So I really want to thank staff that made that happen. Bob Luongo, you're going to hear from in a minute, the planning department, the folks from Green, and the residents that participated and the merchants that participated in the process. People sometimes say, it doesn't matter what I think, but really what resulted here was that collaboration. I had the chance to tell Dave Madden before he passed, I said, Dave, if we ever complete this, I want you to be there to flip the switch when we have the ceremony turning the signals on. And he said, that would be an honor. The real reason I suggested that was if it doesn't work out and people are upset about it and they see the photo in the ledger or wherever, they'll think he did the project. But unfortunately, he's no longer with us. With that, I want to just recognize some folks that are with us here. I mentioned Bob Luongo. John McLeod, our asset management and procurement director. Ken Canal, our DPW director. Owen McDonald, our traffic engineer, who put a lot of time into this. Lieutenant Brian Morse was our point guy within the Weymouth Police Department. Our chief is here. Captain Phillips is here with us today. Jim McGrath, our engineer. Jay Donovan, our civil engineer. Bob O'Connor, who's our energy coordinator and preceded Kenan as a DPW director. Bill Scully and Kimley Horn were our consultants on this. We've got Green International is represented by Ko Ishikura Green. He's Green's president. Dennis Vierev, project manager. Mike Mancuso, the resident engineer. Steve Sacco, project engineer. And John Madrand, our senior engineer from Green. We want to thank them. And our successful bidder is PA Landers. The town has some history with them. With us today is Mike Lyons, the construction manager, and John Molander, project manager. And we have a group that's working on this project, handling some public relations and community outreach, and that's Capital Strategic Solutions, Nicole Figueredo, and Paul Scott. Any complaints during construction, you can direct to them. And again, I really want to thank the merchants for the process that unfolded. And just so you know, funding on this was obviously a little bit of a struggle. It's an expensive job. I think it will be the largest capital construction job occurring in Weymouth now that the school is done and the library is done. It's certainly not at the level of those capital projects, but it's pretty significant nonetheless. We cobbled together funding through some grants that we secured from the state, from our capital budget. There was some ARPA money, and we thank Congressman Lynch, who helped us greatly on the federal level. I know that our state legislators were extremely supportive of this. Representative Murphy is here, and Lou Rizzo representing Senator O'Connor's office. So now, words of wisdom from our Planning Department Director, Bob Luongo, who put a lot of time and effort. And just like Cy Sperling of the Hair Club for Men, he's not just a client. He's not just the president, he's a client, because he lives in Columbian Square practically. Bob Luongo.
Thanks, Mayor. I'm going to be brief. It's cold. But you know how they say everything is personal in life? Well, this is personal for me. So a year and a half ago, my car got totaled right over there. 30 years I've lived in Weymouth on Main Street, never had an accident here, but a year and a half ago it happened. So hopefully, as the mayor said, this will be fixed. We know it will be an improvement. I want to thank the merchants and the residents who participated in the process. This is not a perfect solution. We hope it's a good solution that's going to help control traffic and make it safer for pedestrians and stimulate business opportunities in Weymouth. Now, having said that, the mayor is investing $10.6 million into this square. We want to leverage that public investment with good, measured private investment. Two projects that are underway right now are indicative of what we hope will happen once this square is improved. One is 88 Pleasant Street, which was a site of a former bank building. It's going to be a mixed-use development with two commercial on the first floor. And the other project is 46 Union Street, right down the street. It's the old Whitaker House. It was a rest home. Now it's being converted into approximately, I think it's about 29 residential units, and they're going to be condominiums, and they restored the building and added on to it. So those are the type of improvements we hope will take place in Columbian Square. And with that, I'll turn it back over to the mayor, and thank you all for coming today.
I neglected to mention Councilor Mike Melise is with us, and that's it for councilors. Oh, and Councilor McDougall, and we thank the council's support for this project over the last 7 years. With that, I want to introduce Bill Kelbeck, who needs no introduction in Columbian Square, obviously, to speak on behalf of Little Merchants Perspective.
Thank you. How many people knew that Jacoby Myers was a quarterback? It took a lot to wear this hat today. It took a lot. I'd like to say for decades, Joe Fusil is here from Commercial Lock and Safe. Joe, how many years do you think we did this? Yeah. It took Bob Hedlund and the Association of Hedlund staff to get this done. I'd like to really welcome the people at Cece's, Justin and Hetty, their landlord, Jack Rodoff. I'd like to welcome Taladian, and over there we have Pam and Taladian, Brian, Bruce, Steve Wilson for T-Mobile, Wayne, 105. I'd like to welcome the South Shore Bank. I'd like to welcome everybody here today. We have Julie and Joe at Oasis, and of course, Bill and Paul at Olden's. My heart goes out to these people because most of the improvements at Columbian Square will be right over here, over here, over here, and over there. And if it wasn't for the South Shore Hospital, we don't know what we do. I thank you very much for being here today, and I'd like to say that we embrace all of this. We have had numerous meetings, many meetings. And Green International was very instrumental in putting them all together. I'd like to thank everybody here today and know that onward and upward for Columbian Square. Thank you.
All right, now we're down to business, so we can all get back to work. We're going to do a groundbreaking ceremony here. I'm going to ask the folks who worked on the project thus far, staff, electeds, and then I'd like to offer the opportunity to the merchants to join me up there and have you also participate in the ceremony of the groundbreaking, and then anyone else that wants to join in the third round will do that. It looks like we do have enough sand to accomplish that. So thank you everyone for coming, and I think, did we extend invitations after? Sort of spontaneously here. If anyone would like to join us for a cup of coffee at Blend, you're free to afterwards. So thank you all, and we're wishing great success here. Hopefully things work out great for everybody. Thank you.